All right. What's up, folks? Today is September the 27th, 2024, and today I didn't get a lot accomplished. I got enough accomplished. I worked on order tickets. I worked on my order log, my print log, that kind of thing. There were a few things going on there that I want to do with you on the video, but I really need to do it during live trading hours. So let me go ahead and pull that up right now, and I'll show you kind of what I'm talking about. So here we have the order log that I created, and this is essentially the order log that I had from before. It was just a print log, and then today I effectively finished the stream writer component of it. Well, I had some errors and everything as I was going through it before, and I finally got those figured out. But it's quite a bit. It's all right. It's nice. One of the issues that I had was that when I first load up the file, I need to go ahead and do an initial load, and that initial load allows it for it to check to see if the file has already been created. If it hasn't been created, it'll catch that exception. It'll create a new file, and then it'll go ahead and try to open the stream writer again. Now, this only should run one time, right? Every time after that, it will just run this load file here, which just loads the stream writer. And I've got another one here. I think this one I can probably take away because I changed the code so that it will just run here. If the stream writer is null, then we'll create a new stream writer, allow it to append using the file name, and then here we'll go ahead and make all of our logs to our order log. All right. Like I said, I'll get into that another day. Let me see if I can open up, just show you what the stream log looks like after I finally kind of got it situated. Okay. Yeah, I'm working on some organization and everything with all that I'm doing. I'm working on organization at the same time, still writing code and that kind of thing. So, organization is key. All right, but so this is essentially what the print log looks like now that I got it all fine-tuned and I'm having it stream writ to a file. And so the way I have this set up with the code is that, and I can change this, but I have a timer set up. So the timer is set on 10 seconds, right? So every 10 seconds, this stream writer will shut off, right? So it'll go ahead and close. That way I just don't have the file open. And with the file not being open, I can kind of peek at the file and that kind of thing along throughout the day. But so about every 10 seconds, the file will close, and I can change that to 30 seconds or whatever the case. I don't have a ton of orders coming through at one time. And so if I do have some orders coming through, once those orders start popping through, then this event handler, this event handler checks to make sure that we do have an actual order coming through, and then it will turn the stream writer back on, and then it'll write everything to the print log. All right, so what we're going to do today, though, is I just kind of took a quick look at the chart, and I couldn't really figure out exactly what I could code. I mean, I guess I'm kind of running out of stuff to code, maybe, but anyway, so this is what I came up with. So if we go to Samsung Flow, this is my tablet. All right, so I essentially just came up with this. Instead of looking for longs, I said, well, let me just go ahead and look for the shorts. And so what I decided to do, as opposed to doing keys here, what I decided to do was I saw that this area here kept getting hit, multiple times. I'm like, what's going on here? The only thing I can really see that's going on here is that, we do have this area here, right? And then you also have this wick here, and you have this wick here. Okay, so I could probably revise this whole script and include this break here, but I've kind of got that accounted for anyway. Because what I'm saying is that I want to see that break there. I want to see a break of this swing low, and then when I get that break of that swing low, then I'm looking for this wick on the bottom of the candle, and then I'm looking for a wick to the top of the candle, and then we'll draw a box after that. Now, if I don't end up getting through all this, join the Discord. I'll be more than willing to send you the ELD or something like that, or just kind of talk with you more about what I've done with it. But essentially, we ended up with these kind of rectangles being drawn here. And I'm going to go ahead and work through this again, but it's not a guarantee that I'll get the exact same result. So wait a minute. Here we go. All right, there we go. All right, so the like I said, the result of this script was that I got some boxes like this here. And again, I'm going to work through the script a little bit here on the live. What time is it? I'm 6 minutes in. Done a lot of talking in 6 minutes, but if you made it this far, by all means, go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, join the Discord. My objective has always been to do at least a video per day, whether it's a recap of the day or whether it's a video on programming, coding in EasyLanguage for TradeStation. But where I'm at for today, I will go ahead and start coding this. Like I said, if I don't get finished with it, or if I decide to just kind of bow out, then you can always get access to the ELD through me, through Discord. Okay, so this will be ES, we'll call it short 09 27 24 YT. All right, let me make some space here. And I may not talk through all of it. I may just kind of get a little silent and put my, going through with my music and that kind of thing. But so if you need me, send a message and hopefully I can respond to you in a timely fashion. I have my music playing in my headphones. What are we doing here? Okay. All right. Try to make this short and sweet. Why? Because nobody likes to do the work. Nobody wants to go through the long process. They want it short and sweet. But I'm going to be honest with you. It's your loss. Okay. All right. So again, we're looking. I'm looking for this break here. Looking for that break, that swing low, and then from there, I'm looking for this this wick to the bottom side, and then I'll turn on a flag, and then I'm looking for the wick to the top side. From there, we'll create a rectangle, and then anything that kind of comes within that range will be fair game. All right. I don't know how long it took me to code this earlier, but let's see, 0927. I do it here short. Yep. Okay. All right. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look for this swing low. Okay. So this cord is going to get in my way. right, so what time are we starting this? 10 minutes in? Okay. I think I did like 8 actually, because this is a more aggressive swing low. There. Okay, there. Okay, so now we need a vector to store these swing lows so that we can check to see if we have a cross below it. So since we're doing a vector, we're going to use the EL system at collections. I already know that we're going to be using EL system, and using EL system drawing as well as EL system drawing objects collections. Let's get that vector in there. V lows with initial null. Since we do have a vector, let's do a once begin end block, which includes that the V lows is a new vector. All right, now, so if we do have this happening, then we're going to begin, we'll plot, but then we'll also store that vlows.insert into the 0th index, the swing low. Okay, so now that we have those stored, now we're going to check to see if the price crosses below this swing low. Okay, so and that'll be a method. So we can do that on every bar. Yeah, we'll do let's see, method check break. We'll call it check break. And so we got to go back up to the top. That's where we put our methods. Method void m check break is what we called it. And then begin in. I don't know if I need an index there. I think I do because I do have indexes of IDX, indexes of the vector. And that's an integer. IDX will be an integer. So begin for x equals IDX equals 0 to vlows. So now we're checking through all the count of our vector. We want to see, does the low go lower than the value in the vector. Okay, so if low crosses under vlows at index as type double, then what? First thing, let's just plot. Let's plot 2 will be a low, and then end. Okay. Got an error here. We got the vlows. Vlows is a new vector. But because we're checking those on every bar, we should really only be checking this if we already have a low in the vector. Because as we're coming down, we don't need to be checking if we've broken a vector value if we have no vector value. So let's say if vlows.count is greater than 0, then check. All right, let's see, did it like that? Yeah, it like that. Okay, all right, so here you see on this blue, right? That's the first mark that we're looking for, that arrow. So we do have the cross below the value of the vector swing low. So now, instead of just plotting 2, we also want to turn on a flag to then look for this overlap, right? So we're calling this the bottom wick, and then this will be the top wick. So this is going to be the overlap that we're essentially looking for. All right, so not only do we want to plot low, but we want to plot low, and we want to turn on the flag to look for the rejection. So flag, find rejection equals true. End. And that is a Boolean. So flag find rejection, that's going to be false. Okay. All right. So now, if the flag find rejection, if flag find rejection equals true, then we're going to what? We're going to be looking for, we're going to go ahead and do a method looking for this this opposite side of the overlap. Then method, so we're going to do an M, so method find overlap. Or let's just keep it the same, method find rejection. Come back and put that in the second space. Our next method void M find R begin, and I don't know if I need to go through a loop here or not, but M method find R. So what are we looking for? We're looking for a high top wick. We're looking for a long range. Okay, so if range is greater than range 7 and top wick is greater than, we'll say, the body times 2, then we found our, then we'll plot a high here, and that'll let us know that we actually found what we're looking for. So plot 3 high. Okay, so it came up right here, but we wanted to identify this one. So why did this one not identify? Oh, we need to, there's another thing we need to look for too. We want to know that this high came within this wick range, right? So it came down, came up, wicked into this wick, and then wicked back down. So not only does range need to be greater than range 7, and the top wick is greater than body times 2, the top wick is greater than, we'll put the top wick is greater than the body. It doesn't need to be times 2. Okay, there we go. So now that one did fire off, but now we need to say again that the high is between this range right here, right? So, but how do we find that? Because we need to find what this range is here, right? So we need this bottom or the low, and we need this here. Now on a bearish candle like this is the close. But if this was a bullish candle, but it still had this long bottom wick, then this would essentially be the open. So we need to look for the minimum there. So when did we get this though? We got this on the break. That was his break here. So if we have a cross under, then we want to plot 2, we want to find true, but then we also want to hold a few values. We want to hold this range here. Okay, so how do we hold the range? It's going to be, we'll do hold top is equal to the minimum of the open or the low, and the hold bottom is equal to the low. Now we need those two variables, hold B and hold T. All right. All right, so now that we have those two values there, the top and the bottom of this range, this needs to pierce through that. So, and the high, remember the high of this bar here needs to be between that. So between, the high needs to be between the hold bottom and the hold top. All right. Now we did that, we got rid of something somehow. All right, so find range. Find range is true, then M find R. Yep, range is greater than range 7. I think this range being greater than range 7 might be suspect. Let's do 80% of that. I think that's what I did in my other code anyway, but and the top wick is greater than the body. That should be fine. And the between the high It's between hold bottom and hold top. All right, that should be fine. Oh, this is open and close. Sorry about that. All right, so there we go. There we got the yellow. That's fine. We'll make this just for me because I'm a little colorblind. Make it black so I can see it. All right, so now we have confirmed that we have a piercing of this rejection candle into this rejection range, which says that this area is a very volatile area, right? So this is what we want to now box out. Okay, so now we've already got our drawing stuff situated. So let's prepare to bring a rectangle in here. Just gonna call it rect. All right, so if we do get this to be true, then let's go ahead and draw a box. So not only do we want to plot 3, draw box. And let's put an M in front of it. That's our method. Method void M draw box begin end. All right, so now we need a little bit more information because when we draw the box, we have to have an initial point and price, and we have to have an endpoint and price. So how do we get this initial point? We're going to use either a bar date time or we're going to use a bar number. Bar number is just fine here because we're doing, bar number, 5-minute time frame, bar number is fine. So when we go back to this break here, when we go back to this first break here, how do we find the bar number there? Easy. We just go over here and we say hold bar is going to be equal to whatever the bar number is. That's my function that I created for the bar number. All right, so do that. Now let's just make another variable for that, hold bar. All right. Okay. All right, so now we're back into the draw. We're going to do rect is equal to rectangle dot create bm point dot create. Our first point is going to be bar number and then a price. So that first bar number is this bar number that we held once we found the cross, right? All right, so, and I need to do one other thing up there. I remember now. Let's see. So that's going to be a hold bar. And then what's going to be the value that we hold? Are we going to hold the low or are we going to hold the high? I don't think it matters because we're going to call both of them. So let's just make this first price be the hold top. And then a second BM point that I create is going to be the same thing. We need a bar number and then we need a price. So we're going to use the current bar, whatever bar we're currently on, which here will be this bar. So it'll just be bar number, and then the price will be whatever this whole bar low was that we had, that we're still, that we still have saved. All right, and then we need to use drawing objects.add to add that to the chart. So you see there, we have the rectangle drawn on the chart. All right, but now we need to extend it also. Now on my other one, whatever I did on the other one, I didn't have to do any extension and it extended automatically. But you see what's going on here. You see we got the box here, and what it do? It tanked. The one that we're working on today, we got the box here and didn't tank immediately, but I mean every time it tapped back into that range, it did move down. I don't know if that's one I drew or if that's one from the study. Okay. That one there. Something else is going on here. It looks like price moved through the rectangle. Is this the one that I drew? Yeah, there's one that study at it. So, I mean, obviously, you need to make some type of filter to filter out or stop the rectangle if the price pierces through it, right, to the upside of it. Oh, that's dark. Okay. All right, so there. This one didn't work out. After hours, though, so. But we also need to take into consideration when we're saving these values, because I think this is a swing low. This one broke below it. Now you're saying, where is the one that overlaps and comes back up to it? Well, I don't know. Based on this, we don't have enough code, right? Because our code just says that the price needs to come back up into this wick area, which, you know, the high needs to. So, and then I also need to, I think I also had something in there to turn it off as well. But that's essentially what I wanted. I'm trying to think now what else I want to do to it. But I think this is a cleaner version of what I had done earlier. So 11 minutes, 21 minutes, not bad. I mean, explaining everything as I go. So, but yeah, this is what I was looking for. All right. So the only other thing I do, it probably is just say extend the box. If rect is not null, so if it exists, then extend rect. All right, so how do we do that? We're going to take whatever the rect is, and we're going to change the endpoint. Rectangles dot set endpoint, and it's going to be bm dot create of whatever bar number we're currently on, and that same price of whatever that endpoint was. So how do we get to the endpoint of whatever was currently stored at that rectangle endpoint? Well, we just go to rectangle dot endpoint, not set endpoint, but endpoint, and then do that price, and that should do it. Method extend rectangle. Method extend rect. Yeah, method extend word. There we go. All right, so it looks something like that. All right, but like I said, at some point, you want to turn it off, right? So you got to figure out when you want to turn it off. If you want to turn it off after it's been tapped into twice, that sounds like a good idea. After maybe you've got two closes or two highs. I'd say at least if we did two highs, it would tap out one here and then there. And then this one would tap out. Look at this one though. I mean, it didn't. It didn't reject here or here, but then over here rejected once, twice. Actually, 3 times. Once here, twice, 3 times. Tried to do a stretch here, but yeah, so I think this is going to be an interesting script. And obviously, all time periods are not built equally, right? So this time period here was from like 9 o'clock at night or something like that. And so even though it created what we're looking for, I think it's less valuable than, you know, some other overlap that's created during a time of high volatility, like a news event. But like I said, it still work later. But it's something to just kind of keep in mind. All right, so let's see if we can create something that says if we have if we have three highs, tap into this zone, then we're gonna shut it down. Okay, that's gonna be, let's see. We will use a variable that counts, that keeps a track of a count, and every time a high closes between the two, every time there's a high between the two, then it'll increase the count. So we'll do we'll have a variable called like count cancel. So it'll cancel the extension. Okay, and then we'll also have like another flag or something. Okay, so count cancel. So if we have a rectangle, right? So first let's start with there. So if rect is not null, then begin end. So if high is between those values, the whole top and the whole bottom, whole top, then count cancel plus equals 1. Okay, so that's all we pretty much need there. And then we'll say I need to have some type of Boolean true false variable to keep this from extending, right? So, or we'll say if rectangle is not null and count cancel is less than or equal to, we said on the third one, we could keep extending 4. Well, that would still let it tap again on the fourth one. So let's stop on the third one. So if count cancel is less than or equal to 3, then we're going to extend the rectangle. So after we extend the rectangle, we'll say if count cancel is equal to 3, if it's that third tap, then we're going to, well, at some point we need to reset count cancel equal to 0. We should do that when we draw the rectangle. So once the rectangle is drawn, then it resets that count cancel with a fresh new 3 to go. All right, so here count cancel is equal to 0. That is a integer type. Okay, well, we got it drawn, but it didn't limit our rectangle's not null, then begin if high is between hold B, bottom, and the hold top, then count cancel plus equals 1. So 1, 2. Oh, this didn't, I don't think this hit the third one, so it will keep extending. So if we change this to 2, then this should, let's see, less than or equal to 2. I think we need to put it at 1 in order for it to stop here. There we go. Okay. All right. Not sure why it stopped partial way, though. I can see if it stopped here, or I mean, I really would expect for it to stop here. When you get a high, it taps into the range. All right, so if and count cancel. Oh, wait a minute. I was gonna say it might be a factor of the fact that I have count cancel below it. So as long as count cancel is less than or equal to 1, which here would be 0, here it's 1, because this technically has a high into the range. This is the second one. Count cancel less than or equal to 1. It's 1. This is 2. So on 2, it should not extend. All right, I tell you what, to see why it's still extending through here, let's find out what count cancel is on this bar. So if the bar is 1325 on 927, so if time is equal to 13, what is it? 1325 and date is equal to 1240927, then print count cancel. Then we open up our print log. $13.25. There we go. So it's 1. It's reading that count cancel is 1 at $13.25. Why would it read that? Count cancel 1. Because here, all right, let's go. If time is over 12:15, it's less than 13:35. All those are registering as 1. Well, when does it get to be 2? 13:35. Let's go 13:45. 13:45. I guess it's still registering 1. So technically, according to this, it shouldn't even be turning off. According to this, it should continue to. I got a feeling it feels like it's being reset to 0 every time. Oh, what's up, Jim? Let's see. I don't know if I can. There we go. Let's see. Is that just gonna have anything to do with the red dot at the last bar? Yeah, these are just the swing lows, right? So this is the swing low of 8 bars. So a strength of 8 bars on either side. Boom, boom, get your swing low, 8 bars, boom, boom. So these don't really tell you a lot. It's just kind of, I'm just using it to mark up the chart. It would be great if my code was so good that it would, hit those pivots every single time, but I ain't got there yet. All right, big blue bar with red dot at the bottom. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're probably talking about these guys here, and then the blue dots are just pretty much a flag that turns on that that says that we found a condition of an overlap into this bottom wick. Yep, no problem. Yeah, so like I said, just kind of quickly going back through it. Let me see. I'm pretty much looking for, like I said, today was just practicing and coding, but I was looking at this. I was looking at this swing low here, and then we had that break there, right? We had the break, and then we had volatility right there, and then price moved away from it, and then we came back up, had volatility again, but this time in the opposite direction. So that is the range. That's the bar that I want to set up to find, to see when price comes back in there. Price comes back in there, comes back, right? So that area was pretty significant after, and specifically after that kind of event. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, so I'm pretty much at the end of it, Jim. I'm just, the only thing I was trying to do is with the extension, turn that off. And so then we have the box that's drawn that, that's what I wanted. But then I want to extend that box. And so I, got the boxes to extend. And we get rid of that. And, they extend out pretty far. But so I'm just trying to limit how far they extend, right? So I want to limit it so when price comes back into that range once, twice, or that's once there, but once, twice, 3 times, on the 3rd time, I want to stop extending. So that's all I'm looking for now. Okay, so what I did was a count called count cancel, and it restarts when we draw the rectangle. Resets when we draw the rectangle. And then every time price taps into that range, rectangle's not null, and price taps in that range, highs between the hold bottom and the hold top, then count cancel is going to plus equal 1. I got a feeling, for some reason, rect null is not doing what I think it's doing. I mean, because there is a rectangle on the chart, so essentially you would say, all right, well, there's rect not being null is would be true, but that must be saying something. That must be saying a little, kind of like I learned with StreamWriter. When you close StreamWriter, it doesn't actually get rid of the instance on the chart. It's the instance is still on the chart, so you have to set it to null. Rectangle must be also something like that. So let me do this, then print Yeah, so I mean, it's showing that there's something there. So how about this? If rect, then I'll put and rect is not null, then print 1, 15. Okay, so yes. So the chart does recognize that if there's a rectangle on the chart, then rect is not null. All right, so again, if rect is not null, if there's a rectangle on the chart, and maybe I'll just do and. I shouldn't have to, but if rectangle is not null, then I'll start this block that says if between. The only other thing is there's a possibility that the whole bottom and whole top have changed, but that couldn't be true because if that was the case, then the rectangle wouldn't continue drawing parallel. So we'll just do if rectangle is not null. I'm curious of that. I don't feel like that's wrong, so I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna keep that, but then I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna say if rectangle and rectangle and between, then that. All right, so that didn't change a darn thing. All right, but if we're here, if we're between those times, then the last place I was at probably before you hopped on, Jim, was printing to see what cancel, what the value is. And it keeps coming up as 1, which it should not be 1. So cancel is not adding, or it's being constantly reset to 0. All right, so every time we come into the box and draw a rectangle, I'm going to print to see. All right, so this was the last one. Last time a rectangle was drawn on 9/27/12/10. So here should be somewhere in here. Yeah, so 12/10. Last time we came into this this drawing box. So we shouldn't be resetting cancel at any point other than 12/10. Would be last time it just reset to 0, and somehow we're not adding to it when we get a high in between those numbers. $12.10, we drew it. This high here is, it's in between them, man. What in the world? All right. I know it's something simple. Something simple. Rectangle is on the charts. That's true. And there's something wrong with this right here. I can tell you that. Tell you what we'll do. We'll just print out whatever. We'll print out what they are. So if we're between those times, then we're going to print that, and then we'll print the whole. We'll just print them in order. Tell you what, we're going to make it a lot more complicated, but I think that's what it calls for. Print string.format. Let's get it all in here. So high. I hate typing these squiggly lines. High, hold B, hold T. All right, so the high will be the high, the hold B will be hold B, and hold T is hold T. I need another parentheses. Should have printed the bar date and time as well. But this high here is what, like 50, 5804, 61. Probably this one here. Hold B is 57, 97, 75, 798. Well, that's not right. There's my problem. All right. Somehow the hold B, the whole bottom and the whole top have moved to 57.98 and 57.98 and a half. And the bottom should be 58.02 and the top should be 58.05. Now, why would those change? These are actually changing too. Oh, okay. All right, so somewhere along the way, when we're getting these blues again, I think it's calculating again. It's trying to find a new whole top and whole bottom. So when are we finding the whole top, whole bottoms? We're finding them here when all right. Now this is something I said earlier in the video that I said I would need to probably come back and fix, and I didn't, and so this is probably the price I'm paying for it, but we'll see. All right, so if low crosses under this, whatever that swing low value is, then we're going to take the we have too many watch this. We have too many things in the vector, right? So what we're essentially looking for is we essentially want to find out when we have a break of our most recent swing low, right? So there's our most recent swing low. We have a break below that. And so we're looking for this value here. We really don't even need a vector for this, but we could use a vector to save 1, 2, or 3 values. But I haven't deleted any values here. I haven't gotten rid of any values. I probably have a vector that has like 40 values in it, right? And if that's the case, then I'm constantly getting new, as bars are crossing through these swing lows that were established at the beginning of the chart. I'm constantly crossing those, right? So if we're going to say if we're the last bar on the chart, so last X, then we're going to print vlows.count, that toString. Probably don't need that, but we'll do it anyway. All right, so go down to the end. Yeah, you see we have 157 values in there. Okay, all right, so that's our problem. All right, so one of the things I realized I could do on the other chart is when we get down here, when we do have, since we're starting a loop right here, if we have a cross through there, we only need one cross and then we can get out of it. We don't have to worry about it anymore. We don't have to keep looping through. So we just need one cross. So once we find that cross, we can break out of the method, or we can return, whatever we're going to return. So if we do, so as we're going through the loop, if the low crosses under V lows, then we're going to go ahead and plot. We're going to change our flag, and we're going to take this whole top and bottom, and then we can break. We can break out, okay? And now after we break out of this loop right here, now we're out of the loop, and we can say, I tell you what, even before we break out of the loop, we'll take whatever this whatever is in this index right here and get rid of it, right? So, I mean, we can say that it's one of those kind of things where you have one opportunity to wick in, wick out, or that kind of thing. If it doesn't work, it's off the board, right? So that's what we're going to do here. It may look good, it may not. So before we break, we're going to go ahead and do vlows.erase whatever's at the index. Okay, so now that we got rid of whatever's in the index, that should change our number. Okay, so now we only have 33, but we still don't need to look back through 33 swing lows. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to say, after we're inserting our swing lows, we'll just say if vlows.count is greater than 5, so we'll only keep 5. If it's greater than 5, then vlows.pop back. Yeah, I feel like I didn't do that right. There we go. All right. Vlows. I think it's underline. Yeah. Vlows.pop back. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we're getting close. I mean, so now we're only holding 2. By the end here, we only have 2 values in our vector because we had a couple here and then we used one and then yeah. Okay. All right, now let's see what our numbers are looking like. These whole bottoms and whole tops, 59, 725, 75. Okay. All right, so whole bottom. Okay, so again, we don't need to be changing these values, this whole top and whole bottom. We don't need to change them unless we have a new rectangle, right? So I tell you what, when we draw the rectangle, we kind of need to store those values again, or at least make sure that they don't change. Yeah. Because this is just checking for breaks. So there's more work to be done. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we're going to have this ought to do it. So we're going to have rectangle hold bottom and rectangle hold top. And when we draw a rectangle, that's just going to hold those values from the whole bottom and whole top. So rectangle hold top is equal to hold top, and rectangle hold bottom is equal to hold bottom. All right, and now when we're looking here to see if we have a cross into the rectangle range, this would be rectangle hold top and rectangle hold bottom. Oh, right here. All right, so let's see if those numbers change. I stopped printing the count cancel. Okay, so we need to unmute this here. Boom. That ought to do it. Got 2 then. Sorry, let's see. All right. I don't think that did it. All right, well, so, Okay, well, maybe that was one touch into it. So let's put it back to 3. All right, there we go. All right, so I guess effectively we're saying that this was 1 touch, 2 touch, and then that was the 3rd touch. So yeah. Again, probably want to change this. So you say, all right, well, maybe it's a touch with a sizable bullish bar or something like that. I don't know. You know, figure out whatever you want it to be. But because this is a high, 1, 2, high, 3, 4, 5, right? Nah. So, and this one just stopped because we had a new rectangle being drawn. Yeah, but this is interesting though. This is interesting. I don't know what else. I mean, we could make it a swing. Maybe 2 swing highs. Let me see. How could I make? Can I make that fairly quickly? If swing high of 2 bar, swing high of 3 bars is greater than 0, and at the same time, 3 bars ago was between, so between the high of 3 bars ago was between rectangle hold T, hold bottom, and rectangle hold top. So we got 1, 2, so that'll be 1 swing high, 2 swing highs. Now we have to change how many are allowed to happen before. So we have 5. 1, 2. Yeah. There we go. All right. So that's the way you could do it, right? So you could say, all right, so now we have this rectangle being drawn from our overlap, but it ends based on having 2 swing highs of 3 bars, 2 swing highs of 3 bars strength pierce into it. Once those pierce into it and the high of those bars pierces into it, then it turns off. Otherwise, like I said, you probably maybe want to turn it off if you have the bar go through it. But you see here, we got 2 pierce. This one pierced just above it, right? So, and if we did the close of it, because we could do the close here and it would shut this one, it would shut this long one off, but then this one would stay on because the high pierced into it. So, I mean, you can't win them all. You can't win them all. But you might want to say something like, if the 9-period moving average is so far above the rectangle, then that means that it's taken off and it's well above the, or we could say, and the price is less than the, and high is less than the whole bottom or the whole top. No. If high is less, if the high is less than, you need a flag for this. Last thing I'm gonna do. God, tell my last thing I can sit here and program for hours and hours and hours and just be unbothered. But so at some point I have to shut it off. All right, so I want to make one last thing. I want to make a flag that says, all right, well the flag will turn if the flag turns off because the high has gone above the high, then it won't extend anymore until we get a new rectangle. All right, so we're gonna have something called flag extend, something like that. Flag extend, and that'll be false. And then so we'll say that if high crosses over, oh well, let's also make sure that we already have a rectangle on the chart. So technically put it down here. You end up combining some of these things to make it a little bit cleaner, but rectangle is not null, and high crosses over R hold, then so flag extend, f extend equals false. So then we'll turn the extend off. All right, so where do we extend at? We extend here. Okay, so that flag also has to be true in order for us to extend. So, and f extend equals true. Then extend, okay? Like I say, here it'll turn off to false. And then the other thing is, how do we get this to being true? We'll turn it to true when we draw a new rectangle. There we go. No, it's just me. I'm just clapping for myself. All right. All right, yeah, so when the price crosses over that that high there, it'll go ahead and shut this off. Boom, shut it off. Boom, shut it off. And then also, if we happen to have a swing pivot of 3 bars strength, right? So 3 bars strength, a swing high. If it pierces into it twice, then it'll shut it off also. Okay. All right, let's just see what the rest. And that's all I'm gonna do for that. I'm gonna matter of fact, because if I don't do this right now, I won't do it. So I don't know, what is it? Author. Ooh. Eesh. That's how you know it's getting late. 9, 27, 24. Create an overlap rectangle liquidity zone that deactivates when price crosses over the high, or if price pivots out of it twice. This is a signal for shorting. All right. Nope. There we go. All right, just gonna try to clean it up some, because otherwise, and while I'm cleaning it up, you guys can take the time to copy and paste or get this code for yourself. do a screenshot, whatever. For the Discord members, I can put this in the ELD file in the library. Jim, if you're still with me, oh yeah, man, thank you for the claps, Jim. Man, you're a good man, Jim. You're a good man. Yeah, but Jim, you know, if you want this, man, you got it. So just let me know. Again, I don't know how great it'll be. It's not a part of an automation system. Of course, you could, incorporate into the automation system for sure. But I was looking at the chart today and I was like, man, I gotta code something. And so I just stared at the chart for a while and decided to code this. I'll go back and put notes in it some other time. We don't need to plot all this stuff. You can feel free to turn the stuff on if you want to. Know that we want the once blocks up near the top. I mean, I do anyway. Get rid of this. Hey Jim, man, for your debugging, I know that you talk about debugging a bit. Are you debugging like I am with the print statements and whatnot, or are you going up to debug, and have you kind of figured out how to work all that? Because I messed with that at one time, but I didn't do it enough, and now I don't even know what the heck to do with that debugging part. All right, yeah, so I won't combine these because these are excellent for two different things. All right. Jim, you have to catch me in Discord, man. I'm out of here. All right, we got it together. Okay. Oh, is that a print line that contains almost all the variables? Gotcha. Is that something that you kind of copy and paste, or do you kind of recreate that every time you're doing a program? All right, it looks like that's about it. So. Ah, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I had figured out that debugging some time ago. There's a little bit to it, but I think for like where I'm headed these days, it would be helpful if I was to figure that out again. 'Cause sometimes I get kind of real twisted up, man, and there's no helping me. But yeah, I see that this whatever we call this strategy here, it's got a potential for a little bit of a drop. It doesn't have, and even here, because it's dropping after the black, right? So after the black is when it makes its drop. But and then here, black is when it makes its drop. But and here, black is when it makes its drop. So I mean, it doesn't look like it has a huge range to drop from. But I mean, if you get that black, and you say, hey man, let me go ahead and take that. How many points are those? 8 points? 8 points there. I mean, 6 points. I'd go for 8 points, 6 points, 8 points. I'd go for that. So, anyway. Tennis prints out right now. Yeah, man. Jim, I'll catch you later in Discord, man. You know I'll be up for a while. I'll still be looking at some stuff, but I'm about to hop off of here. So, hope you have a good evening, man. Everybody, like, subscribe, share the video. Share. Sharing is caring. You know. All right. I'm Eric. I'm out. Peace. Yeah, appreciate you for coming on, Jim. I'll catch you, man.